Hi, it's Author Sandra Wilson, and we're here live from the Kindness Kangaroo Library where we're doing another Friday feature. Every Friday at 10:30, right here live on the Author Sandra Wilson Facebook page, we read a storybook because I think reading to children is very important. Stories are very important, and it's great to support some of the authors that write these stories and share their imagination with us. So today we have a story that fits our season very well. It's called The Hedgehog in the Fog. It's an autumn tale by Kellyn Hough. Now this book I picked up at the Magic Pebble bookstore in Elora. They're very good at supporting independent authors. It's a really cute book, and so I'm happy to share it with you today. As usual, at the end of our story, there's a short little craft activity so that you can take the story further. So remember to join us every Friday. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. Can you see it? Oh, ribbit. No, I'm just joking. Every Friday we will have a story time. And they are picture books. But we do have, in November, we have a very special story time coming up where we're going to be doing a Choose Your Own Adventure style book. So we want you to participate with that, and we'll be using the comments as we read the story to see how we get or what path we end up with. So that's very exciting, and it's going to be a very brand new book by myself, Author Sandra Wilson. Okay, so are you ready to go? We have this great story to share with you today. The Hedgehog in the Fog, written by Kellyn Hough, illustrated by Jacob Moffat. And you'll see the cute little hedgehog illustrations. Little Hedgehog awoke one chilly autumn morning. He could smell the wet earth. It had been a cool, damp night. This would be Little Hedgehog's first fall. With a rumbling tummy, Little Hedgehog decided to venture out into the forest for some of his favorite mushrooms. As he walked, he noticed the world all around him had changed practically overnight. The forest he called home suddenly seemed new and different. A fog had crept in, as it often does on chilly autumn mornings. Little Hedgehog felt unsure about the fog, but he was awfully hungry, so off he went into the misty forest. While the fog made it hard to see far ahead, Little Hedgehog knew the forest path well, and as he walked along, a familiar hoo-hoo sounded from above. I bet you know who's in that tree. Good morning, Owl. Your tree looks so nice today. Did the fog do that? Owl ruffled his feathers as he laughed to himself. No, not the fog. The leaves of my tree change color every fall. I think I like the orange ones best. Little Hedgehog stopped to wonder what Owl meant by fall, when suddenly his dear friend Rabbit came hopping out from her hole in the bottom of the tree. Hello, Little Hedgehog. What a beautiful full morning. I'm off to find some berries for breakfast. The bushes are just bursting with them this time of year. The red ones are my favorite. And away she hopped, bursting with excitement. As the Little Hedgehog continued down the forest path, the fog started to lift. Soon he could see more of the colorful leaves and berry-spotted bushes that his friends were so fond of. The forest was full of them. Is this fall? He wondered aloud to himself. Soon Little Hedgehog arrived at the forest pond where the fog still hung quite heavily, and he made his way to the water's edge for a cool drink. From beneath the rippling surface, another familiar face appeared. Who is it this time? Hello, Turtle. Aren't you cold in there? The pond water is quite chilly today. Not at all, Little Hedgehog. I like the way the cooler waters of fall feel. They calm me. Turtle then slowly drifted away, staring at the bright blue sky, a favorite pastime of his. Feeling refreshed by his drink from the pond, and wondering what other welcome changes this thing called fall will bring, Little Hedgehog quickly hurried on. He was quite hungry by now, and the fog was nearly all gone. Only a little bit of the hazy gray clung to the shallow valley where the mushroom patch lay ahead. Well, little Hedgehog was no longer worried about the fog. His friends had showed him there was nothing to worry about in his changing forest home. Heading quickly down the hill, the smell of mushrooms so strong and near, little Hedgehog ran excitedly into the lingering fog, spotting his most favorite of foods. From the biggest mushroom in the patch, he took a bite, and it was even better than he remembered. This might possibly be the juiciest mushroom he had ever tasted. He closed his eyes so to better enjoy each bite of the big, juicy mushroom. Eventually, looking up from his bountiful breakfast, little Hedgehog noticed that the fog had completely cleared. All around him were leaves of every color, bushes laden with berries, and a clear blue sky. He continued to munch on the mushrooms, watching the leaves fall from the trees and spin to the ground with each cool gust of wind. As the leaves piled up around him, little Hedgehog nodded his head in agreement with his friends. Yes, I do believe that I like fall best of all, and the mushrooms are definitely my favorite. Isn't that just a cute little story about how the season changed and what we might notice about that? Do you notice the season changing outside? Have you run outside and looked at all the different colors and all the different things? There's some even different birds and animals that you'll see around this time of year because they travel back and forth, called migration. And so some of the winter birds are starting to appear. So it's a really exciting time and beautiful with all the colors. Do you like to see the oranges and the yellows and the reds? What colors are your favorite? We're actually going to use some of those color leaves in our craft today. So as you go outside to discover all the wonderful things about fall, pick up some leaves. Now my leaves are a little bit dry right now because it rained yesterday, and so I tried to get in some leaves so they wouldn't be soaking wet for today. But go out there and find some fresh leaves. You'll need a good handful of them. Now I liked the ones that were just kind of an oval shaped, just because of what we're doing for the craft. But you can get any leaves you like, any colors you like, what really appeals to you. Make sure they are a little dried off though before we do the craft. So if they're wet because of the dew or wet because of rain, just dry them off. Don't let them dry up, but just dry them off so that they'll be able to work on the craft. And then you'll also need a piece of paper that's a half circle. So mine is orange, but you can use any color you like, or use white and color it yourself. This is going to be the body of our hedgehog. So for the craft, what I did is I drew a little face and a little tail and some little legs at the bottom. And then you take your leaves and you glue them on top. And these leaves will form the spike of the hedgehog. You see in these beautiful drawings of the hedgehog, he has lots of spikes. You see that? You see all those little spikes? And so our pointy leaves are going to make the spikes on the hedgehog. So I can show you, I've started mine. It takes a little bit for the leaves to dry because I used white glue and the leaves have to dry. So glue them on and then maybe put a book or something on top to help keep them flat and dry. And you can see I have a little face at this end, his little nose and his eyes and his little tail. And then we've created a hedgehog. So that's a beautiful little craft that helps you explore the fall outdoors and all the beautiful colors and take the story to a little bit longer in your day. So The Hedgehog in the Fog by Kellyn Hough. It's a wonderful autumn tale, and I will post underneath how you can get a copy of the book, or you can visit Magic Pebble Books in Elora and pick up a copy there as well. All right, everybody, we'll see you next Friday for another Friday feature and another great story. Bye.